Hi, Inez Simpson here, and I'm just making this video to talk about the 4-day format we're using to teach SP nowadays. Give you all the benefits of it. Been doing it for about a couple years now in English-speaking Canada, of course, and in Australia, anywhere there was English-speaking that I was teaching. So, and I found that it's been so much better than when we used just the 2-day format and had the other advanced training later. The whole thing, what I find with people are when they shift into it and they start to understand the holistic method of SP, because SP is hypnosis that is, it's not a technique. It can do anything in hypnosis. It's a format, it's a process. But if you may or may not understand that it's entirely, anything can be done with it. It can be incorporated into anything that you already work at. This is a holistic way of doing things. What do I mean by that? I mean it's a complete way of doing things. Hypnosis isn't just a technique. This isn't just about how many inductions you can do and to create that, because that's all part of what you do. Yes, you do the induction, you do the deepening, you do everything. But it's a full process. It's a full format. That's why it's called a protocol. But the protocol actually can do anything. So it's like more, Martin was saying to me, an open source in the computer, Martin, software, right? See, that's how good I am at that. But it's like open source software where you can put anything with it and it'll simplify it, make it better. So what SP does, it gets it well-rounded, that you can address any issue at all, and also that you make it simplified and efficient and for both you and the client. Now, I also teach students to get certified as a hypnotist. And when they get to the SP part eventually, because most of them go to SP, they say, okay, why did I have to learn all that other stuff? And why did I have to learn how to do it the hard way? And I said, well, now you have the background of how it was created, because it's still a good thing to know. You still can do regression. You can still do this. You can still do that. And everything is included in SP in a much simpler, more efficient way. So back to why 4 days. When I was doing 2 days, we would teach the structure, and everyone would get that, but they wouldn't know how to break the rules and get out of the structure necessarily. It's just like when I was taking hairdressing years and years ago. They teach you all the rules you're supposed to follow, and then they tell you, don't, how to cheat. That's sort of like how it is. So once you learn it and you're there the 3rd and 4th day, you learn how to start moving that so you can use it for anything, spiritual, physical, with medical, and we just use it for anything. Now you know how to use the structure, how to shift the structure if you need to, and everything in those 4 days allows people to become more confident and understand how they move it and how it is going to make their life much easier. So what I've noticed too is before then, after the 2 day, I used to get lots more questions because people can't take all the information in 2 days. It's just way too much. And in the 4 day, they've gotten more comfortable by the 4 day. They've done more of it. They've seen it work on different things, and the doing, because it's such an interactive process. We're always doing hypnosis on each other. The bonding process between the group is better than on the 2 day, because by the 3rd and 4th day, everyone knows each other very well, and they feel very safely ensconced in a group that they can function this in for the first time, and they do it. So it's much easier in the 4 day for them to get the concepts, to get all how it works, how it's so easy to move it from doing something spiritual here and then doing something very physical oriented in another. And everything is the same. The structure holds the whole thing up, and you can do anything in that time. And to solidify all that, we've changed the process of how to get certification. We've created a 3 to 4 month time that you get mentoring from me, and they have the understanding from the 4 day, and they just go into it, and it's like having sort of a master class all by yourself. Anything you'd it's funny, the things that you miss in a 4-day or a 2-day or a 10-day training is when you're focused on one thing and you've missed some little tiny seed here or something, a nuance or something. Well, in a 3 to 4 month process, we take you through till you know that that person knows exactly how to do anything and everything with SP. Okay, so the first point is that in the 4 days, that it just seems to be an ideal time frame. You could take it to 6 or 8 days, but you won't get the same amount of growth from the extra days. But in those 4 days, you get to assume it, you get to feel full sessions in deep state hypnosis. And you're experiencing that for 3 or 4 days, highly, because even the first day, we already starting to practice to do a full session. So, there's a lot of hypnosis being done. And the second thing I was already talking about was the bonding between and getting the safety aspect of working on these deep, deep issues in class and getting it done. Because nobody has to know. With SP, you don't need to know the whole story, because the mind knows everything and it's led by the mind. So after 2 days, you get kind of overwhelmed in some ways because you think, wow, and I say it's simple, and it is. But because it's simple, you have to sort of relearn how you look at hypnosis. Because it's simplified, people seem to have to think that maybe you have to make it a little more difficult. Or how can it work so easily if it's so simple? So by the 4th days, you're over that. And you can understand that it's doing enormous work. Now, you say, well, the bonding is important. I agree with that, and I really mean it, that it is. And some people say, well, why wouldn't you bring outside people in for them to work on? Because I need them to experience what their clients are going to experience. It's slightly different for everybody, but they're going to have to experience what it really does. And when they experience it, it's wholly different than watching someone else experience it. And that's the important thing, the bonding of the group, the trust that builds and that they will allow, the rapport is high, all those things. You're going to do that fine with a client because they're coming to you, they've chosen you. This is a group of people that are sitting in the same room. They maybe not know each other, or maybe some do, but they bond and it becomes a very deep experience. It's sometimes quite intense. Okay, so that's explaining the format of the 4-day, and it's great. Now, if you have any more questions, you can go to simpsonprotocol.com and see the list of all the trainers and what languages and areas, and you can ask them or me question if you need to, because that's where all the information is you can get to ask questions.